After we got the perfect start to a slasher franchise in Scream 1, Scream 2 was fast-tracked and released in 1997, 1 year after the original movie, with most of the main cast that weren't killed in the first movie returning. This movie is famous for the script leaking on the internet, so they had to change what happens in the movie and who the killers were, ultimately changing around the roles. Switched around in like someone that was supposed to be the killer now is a friend, and someone that was supposed to be a friend is now the killer. And they had to do that to not make the movie predictable and everyone knowing how it plays out. So even before, long before social media, the internet was a ground for spoilers. And the script for Scream 2 got leaked and spoiled who the killers were planned to be. The first version of Scream 2, the killers were supposed to be Derek, the boyfriend, and Hallie, Sydney's dorm friend. And they both were led by Miss Loomis. Well, hired by Miss Loomis. And then she would kill them both. So the studio had to change some things with some rewrites. And ultimately the movie we got is different with some similarities. And I will get to that later on in this video. Scream 2 is for me personally the second best Scream movie. The opening alone is one of the best scenes in the whole franchise. It kind of makes fun of movie violence on its own, with a young couple going to the movies, seeing Stab 1, played by Omar Epps and Jada Pinkett Smith. When they arrive at the theater, it's a very cool scene. They do this thing here where everyone in the audience is dressed up as Ghostface. And because this is the opening scene, you kind of guess that the real Ghostface will show up in this scene. And it's smartly done here because everyone in the audience is dressed up, so Ghostface can just blend in. And he does. The boyfriend here, played by Omar Epps, he gets up to go to the bathroom. When he gets there, he sees two people dressed up as Ghostface. It's all normal because the audience is dressed up as Ghostface. He walks up into the booth and does his thing, and suddenly hears something weird, some whispering. He leans in on the wall of the booth to hear what's going on the other side, and then suddenly gets stabbed in the ear. And we see that it's Ghostface, the real Ghostface, attacking him. And as he falls down dead, we see that there are two ghost faces again. Then we cut to the girlfriend. She's in the theater watching the movie. And someone dressed as Ghostface with her boyfriend's jacket sits down next to her, which she assumes is her boyfriend. But we know it's not. She continues to watch the movie. She does try to talk to her assumed boyfriend, but she doesn't get a response. She just gets nods back. She continues to watch the movie before she notices something weird. She notices blood on his jacket, and then the masked person turns to her and stabs her once. She gets up, tries to get away from him, but he stabs her repeatedly, all while the audience is thinking it is a publicity stunt. At this moment, Ghostface can practically do what he wants with her. He stabs her repeatedly, follows her, she gets up to the front stage and screams and just falls dead, and the audience finally notices that it's real. And this is interesting because when the audience notices that it's real, we get a POV from her point of view, and we see them realize it in real time from her perspective. It's just a cool and tragic way to film this scene. Craven really knew what he was doing here, alongside with cinematographer Peter Deming. And then the movie officially starts. We get reintroduced to Sydney, her friends, to fan favorite Randy, who survived the first movie of course, and you know the rest if you have seen this movie before. So what makes Scream 2 a great sequel? The best sequel for me? Well, there is a lot. For example, one thing is that we get a really haunted Sidney Prescott. She is clearly affected by the first movie's events, and it shows throughout Scream 2. She has a hard time trusting people around her, especially her new boyfriend Derek, and he is clearly used here as a red herring. And while she is in love with him and she kind of trusts him, she also don't want to get hurt like in the first movie, kind of thinking like it was the boyfriend the first time around, maybe it's the boyfriend this time. And it's also in how the character is performed in many of the scenes. He is kind of suspicious with how he reacts to what she is telling him. And you kind of get some ominous music when he reacts to things. But at the same time you also get some sweet moments with him too. Like the singing in the cafeteria scene in school. And he is used as a suspect all through the movie, almost to the end. And he is used in a strong way here emotionally for the character of Sidney Prescott. His last scene with Sidney is one of the strongest scenes in the whole franchise, and one of the aspects that makes this sequel the best sequel for me. Mickey Altieri is of course revealed as Ghostface, one of the Ghostfaces, and he uses Sidney's suspicions and feelings towards Derek and the situation they are in against her, which leads to her making a decision where she isn't really sure about how to feel until it's too late, because Mickey, he plays with her feelings, and when he sees that she is unsure about what to do, he shoots Derek dead, while simultaneously Sidney kind of realizes that he wasn't helping Mickey with the killings throughout this movie. So she feels guilty about even doubting him at all. And that scene I felt is one of the strongest scenes in the whole franchise. Really good scene, really well executed and shot and acted. And the dialogue written for Mickey in this scene is just great. And the performance is really unhinged from Timothy Oliphant. He is definitely the most crazy Ghostface so far. Crazy in a different way than Billy Loomis or Stu Macher. It's of course debatable because all three of them are crazy in three different ways, but definitely crazy at the same level. More so than the other Ghostfaces in the other movies. And we will get to those later on in this video series. One other thing I found strong in this movie is the cast. You have Neve Campbell back as Sidney Prescott, she is strong as usual. Courtney Cox as Gail, and David Arquette as Dewey. The trio really centers the movie, with some additional help from Jamie Kennedy as Randy Meeks, with the new cast being Jerry O'Connell as the boyfriend Derek, and Elise Neal as Hallie, Sidney's new college friend. And they all make up for a very strong foundation in this movie, despite not being as strong as in the first movie. Another reason I found this sequel to be the strongest one in the franchise is the chase scenes. Two of them mainly. The car crash escape is not maybe a chase scene, but it's a really good scene. Sidney has two bodyguards in this movie, and they drive her to a safe place. At least they try to, before they are attacked by Ghostface. They are attacked, both of them, brutally by Ghostface. Then Ghostface gets in the car and starts driving Sidney and Hallie away. He stabs one of the bodyguards and runs the second one over. The car crashes and Ghostface is unconscious. While Sydney and Hallie are at the back of the car, they try to escape from the car without waking up Ghostface. And this is a really tense scene, maybe one of the most suspenseful scenes in the whole franchise. And I say that a lot about this movie because it is really that good. The other scene I'm talking about is Gale's studio chase. This is hands down probably the best chase scene in the whole franchise. Gale gets attacked by Ghostface, chased by Ghostface, while Dewey gets attacked. They are in a soundproof studio. Gale gets chased by Ghostface slowly, methodically, with smooth, almost dreamlike camera movement. It's a tight space, you can't really run away. Several rooms, glass rooms, and Ghostface is always close. She gets into one area of the studio, she sees Dewey, and she sees Ghostface behind him, but he can't hear her yelling because, of course, the studio is soundproof. Ghostface stabs Dewey, and we as the audience are supposed to think he is dead. Gale is of course devastated, but she manages to stay in the room, block Ghostface from entering the room. And this is just a scene that I can just rewatch over and over. Never disappoints. It's just so well written and directed. Those two scenes are some of the best in the franchise. I can't go without mentioning the Cece kill scene. Cece, here played by Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I'm of course talking about Sarah Michelle Gellar. This scene is good because Ghostface really taunts her before killing her. Really plays with her head. It's not a very brutal scene, but it's very smartly written. And a really great performance from Sarah Michelle Gellar. I just wanted to mention that because I think that scene is good too. And a Scream movie wouldn't be a Scream movie without the reveal at the end. The two Ghostfaces here are Mickey and Billy's mom, aka Debbie Salt. Her motive is of course revenge for Billy. But Mickey's motive is much more off the rails. He basically wants to be a famous serial killer, shown on live TV and defended by very famous lawyers. He's basically killing for fame. He wants to get caught, having a big trial. So those are the motives of the two Ghostfaces. And I do think they are overall good. A mom avenging her son is classic, and it's a nod to Friday the 13th. And the Mickey motive is quite innovative for the time the movie was released. So overall I do think that Scream 2 is the best sequel in the franchise. Not perfect, not as good as the first one, but still a very great movie. The negatives I have is that the satire isn't as strong as in the first movie. Also, there are too many characters that don't do much. Too many red herrings that don't lead anywhere. So it's not a perfect movie, but it is a great movie. I am giving Scream 2 an 8 out of 10. If you like this video, please like, share and subscribe. Also, don't forget to smash the bell icon so that you don't miss any of my future videos. This has been Phantom Frame. Thank you so much for watching.